12 on your side's Marilyn Ward says look no further than your freezer. It may have some revamped tasty and nutritious frozen meals.
Thing we want to look at is sodium.
Definitely.
Right? So this is where a lot of the brands in the freezer section get their bad rap, because
demand for frozen meals is heating up.
When it comes to frozen meals, consumers want healthy, less processed ingredients.
Frozen dinners are one of the easiest traps in the grocery store. They look convenient, affordable, and even comforting. Pop one in the microwave, and within minutes, you've got a full meal. No chopping, no cooking, no cleanup. But the truth is that most frozen dinners are nothing more than highly processed salt bombs wrapped up in plastic. They're loaded with preservatives, fillers, and questionable meats that barely qualify as food. And while the box may show a steaming plate of golden chicken or fresh veggies, what you get out of the microwave is often pale, mushy, and disappointing. Still, not all frozen dinners are created equal. A few are crafted with better ingredients, more balanced nutrition, and can actually serve as a decent emergency option. But first, let's look at the ones you should avoid at all costs. The first category of frozen dinners to skip are the ultra-cheap TV dinners that still cling to nostalgia from the 70s and 80s. These often come with a mystery meat patty, instant mashed potatoes, and some peas or corn that taste like they've been sitting in a freezer for decades. The problem isn't just that they taste bad, it's that they're loaded with sodium, trans fats, and artificial additives designed to give them shelf life instead of nourishment.
And we're seeing bolder flavors in different cuisines.
Consumer Reports checked out 30 frozen meals you'd find in the grocery stores.
grams. You don't want it to be any higher than 4 grams of saturated fat. Okay, so this is the bad type of fat.
Nutritional good stuff are you actually getting? They literally picked at their plates, weighing the veggies, whole grains, and beans.
You might feel full after eating them, but you're not giving your body anything useful, just calories and chemicals that leave you sluggish. Another major offender is the fried frozen dinner, especially the ones loaded with breaded chicken, fish sticks, or fried shrimp. They may sound appealing on the box, but what you're actually getting is cheap protein pumped with fillers, dunked in low-quality breading, and then fried in oils that don't age well. Once frozen and reheated, the coating becomes soggy instead of crispy, and the inside is often dry or rubbery. On top of that, the calorie count skyrockets while the nutritional value plummets. You're essentially eating empty carbs and unhealthy fats disguised as comfort food. Then there are the oversized pasta-based frozen meals. Lasagna, mac and cheese, Alfredo pasta. They all look indulgent, but the reality is grim. These dishes are usually drowning in heavy cream sauces or fake cheese, with very little actual protein or vegetables.
Portion sizes could be small, but most had 1 to 1.5 cups of healthy ingredients.
Okay, so when we look behind one of these labels, what I want people to make certain of is that they're looking at saturated fat. And on this
They found companies are offering plenty of spices and interesting vegetarian options.
One serving often contains more sodium than you should consume in an entire day, and the portion sizes can be misleading. What looks like a single serving may actually be 2 or 3, which means you could be eating thousands of calories in one sitting without realizing it. The result is a meal that fills you up for a moment, but leaves you bloated, thirsty, and guilty. Frozen, Asian-inspired meals are another trap. The boxes promise bold flavors like sweet and sour chicken or sesame beef, but most of these dinners are just small portions of overbreaded meat drowned in sticky sauces loaded with sugar and sodium. The vegetables, if any, are usually limp and flavorless after reheating. Instead of tasting like fresh stir-fry, you're left with a cloyingly sweet, overly salty dish that's as unhealthy as ordering fast food.
Our highest scoring frozen meals were not only tasty, but also had mostly whole food ingredients and were lower in sodium.
advocating, but I do know that there are busy people out there that will rely on a frozen entree a few times a week because they are just too busy.
It might satisfy a craving in the moment, but it's not doing your health any favors. Don't forget about the so-called diet frozen dinners either. They often market themselves as low-calorie, but they sacrifice balance to achieve those numbers. Instead of giving you a proper mix of protein, healthy fats, and complex carbs, they rely on tiny portions, watery sauces, and added gums or fillers to bulk up the meal.
but they scored many of the chicken dishes lower because the chicken was dry or chewy.
Okay, well, Delisa, there are 3 things that I want people to look at on the nutrition facts label.
Okay.
The first is saturated fat.
You may save calories, but you'll be hungry again within an hour. Worse yet, some are so high in sodium and preservatives that the health claims on the label are practically meaningless. But not every frozen dinner is a disaster. A few options can actually hold their own as a quick backup meal. The first group that isn't half bad are the newer frozen dinners built around whole ingredients. Brands that use actual cuts of chicken, beef, or fish instead of mystery patties, paired with real vegetables and whole grains, provide a far better experience. They may cost a little more, but the difference in quality is noticeable. When you can actually recognize the foods on your plate, you're in better territory. Another category worth mentioning are frozen plant-based dinners made with legumes, quinoa, brown rice, and lots of vegetables. These meals tend to be higher in fiber and contain fewer artificial additives compared to the old-school meat and potato-style TV dinners. A chickpea curry, a quinoa veggie bowl, or a lentil stew can actually provide steady energy and real nutrition while still being convenient.
12 on your side's Marilyn Ward says look no further than your freezer. It may have some revamped, tasty, and nutritious frozen meals.
Thing we want to look at is sodium.
Definitely.
Right? So this is where a lot of the brands in the freezer section get their bad rap because
Demand for frozen meals is heating up.
When it comes to frozen meals, consumers want healthy, less processed ingredients.
They're not gourmet, but they're a far cry from the sodium-packed classics. Finally, some frozen dinners that focus on global cuisines, like authentic Indian curries or Mediterranean bowls, can be surprisingly satisfying. When done right, these meals offer bold flavors, balanced nutrition, in decent portion sizes without drowning everything in salt and sugar. A good frozen tikka masala or falafel bowl can deliver a comforting, flavorful experience that feels closer to takeout than to cardboard food. The key is finding the brands that respect tradition and use cleaner ingredients rather than cutting corners. In the end, frozen dinners fall into 2 camps. The majority are cheap, heavily processed meals that give you calories without real nourishment. They rely on salt, sugar, and additives to mask low-quality ingredients, leaving you full but not fueled. But a smaller group stands out by using real food, cleaner recipes, and more balanced nutrition. Those are the ones worth keeping in the freezer for nights when cooking just isn't an option. The bottom line is simple. Avoid the old-school TV dinners, the fried meats, the pasta overloads, and the diet gimmicks, and instead choose the frozen meals that actually resemble food. Your body will thank you the next day.